take photos here as a result. So if you are putting it in the M-Pesa 0746 95 5316. Calvin Nyamachi is telling me that he wants to donate. I know he'll give a serious donation there. Thank you, my friend, CEO, and my good friend. 0746 95 5316. I'll still repeat because I want to see that donation and I want to see everyone leave this room with a book. It's going to bless the nation. It's going to bless your heart. It's going to bless your children. It's going to bless your motherland. This book is going to bless your motherland. Can we say amen? I've read books. The young me has read books. Probably over 1,000 books. But when I read this, I felt something different. So your future, that is why I still implore you to deposit something on 0746 9553 16. 0746 9553 16. Now that you have deposited, please come forward and receive your gift. Okay? Please come forward and receive your gift. Now that you have deposited something, just come forward and receive your gift. I know there are people who had deposited earlier and they have their books there with them. You also come forward, please. Let me invite our MC. This young brother of mine is the CEO of EduLight International. If you hear that, it is vast, it is African, it is education, it is enlightenment.
My company, EduLight International, will buy one book at 2,000 shillings.
Thank you very much. Someone want to say anything? So the author is going to autograph all those books for everyone else. And Calvin, your book, you have the biggest. Please. Thank you very much. So I'll let the author say a word about this as we bring in Maponga was found. Bring in Maponga for the last. There is food that is there at the entrance. So after this, we're just concluding. When he says his speech, we will be concluding.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, very happy to be here speaking to you about my book. So I'll just give a summary of the kind of inspiration. I had spoken before, but I can say something more because there is really more to this book than meets the eye. So as a child growing up in Uganda, I witnessed a lot of things that taught me and molded me into the kind of thinker that I am. So being very aware of my surrounding and environment and the kinds of struggles I have to deal with, and realizing that there is no shortcut to getting through to the answers, I decided to pen this book as a solution to most of the struggles that we Africans face. I'm going to give you this example. In 2021, I ran for president in Uganda. And it is not something I usually talk about, because for me it means nothing if we are not making the changes that need to be made. And 3 years before that, I was arrested twice, merely for speaking against the ills of the society. You are on radio and you're criticizing something that's going wrong, and your government arrests you, puts cases on you, and the next thing you know, they are discharging you that the case wasn't there. No one pays for your time. No one pays for your time in prison. No one pays for your losses. They will just let you go. This is an experience that I am sure there are so many people that have gone through it. A lot of young people are being forced into exile, others are killed, others are kidnapped, and this is something that's happening in our countries. And many times we are not allowed to speak about these things. We are silenced, we are threatened, and we are told if you speak about it, you're being political. And I would like to say that the time has arrived. The time has arrived that African people stand up, stand on their truth, speak the truth, and unite to make sure we can correct what's gone wrong. And then I go back and say, there is only one road, the restoration of the African order that enforced and reinforced balance and harmony, that made women stand next to the men, having the same goals and harnessing their energies and efforts to bring about goodness and harmonious living. So I decided to write this book in a lot of pain. It was many months of painful reflections, wondering and thinking, yeah, I have sung songs, I have been so loud, I have been so talkative, but I realized this message needs to be put into perspective in one book. It may be painful, it may not be pleasant, but it is not for pleasing or offending. It's the truth, and the truth must be embraced. So, I cannot say all that I need to say. All I can do is say, get the book and make your reviews and get back to me. And if you do not agree with anything I say, you are welcome for a discussion. I thank you. One more thing. This is my baby. I have to recognize his presence in my life because I started writing the book a month after I had him. I really believe he came with a lot of power and inspiration, and he really inspired me. And yes, every time I'm on the computer typing and he's deleting everything I type, because he thinks he's typing too, and he's been really a big part of my journey. So clap for him too.
I love Isa. He's very jovial and good. See, he's looking at me. Ladies and gentlemen, I know some of you are wondering, if you want to publish a book, what do you do? The same number that you used to send money, that is my number. You can call me. If you go out there is Ruth Koech, that is my secretary. You can also talk to Ruth. She'll give you my number. If you know someone who is trying to come up with something and they are struggling, also let me know. Thank you very much. We are in this together. Let's build our nation. Let's build our continent.
And if you're wondering whether you can write a book and you think you don't have what it takes to write a book, just start. And before you know it, will be done. Thank you. Now at this solemn juncture, we are going to do the smart shot signing. Your Excellency, sir, please, you can come up front so that we can have this smart shot signing of this book as an official way of unveiling it to the world. Welcome, sir. So what we're going to do here, we are going to have His Excellency sign right here, and Mama will also sign here. Then our dearest elder, you must come and also put your hand in this. Reverend, you can as well come. My dear sister, please. And my friend from KBC can as well come. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
But I am saying that the Africa Council of Elders and the Ubuntu Nation Initiative will take 10 copies, and then the Baganda clan elders, all 56 of them, I won't buy for all of them, but I am also going to make sure they take 10 copies. We will be working with whoever is marketing this to see that those copies are delivered and the payment is also effected in support. And I am also saying, please tell your elders to secure their copy or buy it for your elder. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we are officially unveiling this great book, this masterpiece to the world, The Killing of the Queen. We will start by the author herself. So we have the launcher sign, and thereafter we'll have the author also sign, and then the great penmen and leaders and literati who are up front here, they will sign. Welcome, sir. Welcome, Your Excellency. Si signs jameni, tupige makofi mazuri. We are now launching this book to the world. Asante sana. You can sign. As Reverend signs, na mpige makofi mazuri. Tusichoke. Na elder pia tusichoke kuwapigia makofi jameni. This is the moment we have been waiting for since break of dawn. Asante sana. Yes. All right. My friend Riro from KBC. Sign here, somewhere down there, and then we'll have the publisher. Oh, we'll have you, then the publisher, and then the author. Sign somewhere down here. Yes, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we must write our own books. We must tell our own stories. It will be suicidal if we allow those who don't know who we are to write books on our behalf. They will automatically mislead us. And that's the reason as to why we celebrate those great men and women who deem it befitting to put pen to paper and write books that help us map the destiny of Africa. Asante sana. Asante sana. Now that we are done with the signing, we'll have a brief photo session. The author. If you have the book, you can just write. Asante sana. Asante sana. Wow. What a day it has been. Those who have paid for the book, you can check at the entrance with Ruth Quach so that you can get your copies. Dearest children of Africa, permit me announce that we have been graced by the trailblazer himself, the greatest advocate for Pan-Africanism, a man who has inspired many within and without the borders of Africa. The man who inspired me to join Pan-Africanism after I watched some of his videos online. Bishop Joshua Maponga, who has also been with us this morning, although we lost him at some point in time because of network connectivity issues. But he has been with us, stuck with us just like belt sticks on trousers. And now I'd love to address us virtually and say a word on this auspicious event. Ladies and gentlemen, Bishop Joshua Maponga.
Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2.
Sound check. Bishop will give you green lights shortly.
Testing 1 2.
Can you speak Maponga a bit?
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Are we live? Hello. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Proceed.
All right.
Proceed, Maponga.
All right. Thank you very much, and greetings to all of you. My heart and soul would have loved to be in the building with you for today, and congratulations to Aleena, Zahir, for the wonderful work. I will not start talking until I recognize my mentor who is in the house, Sasongo Jaja, all the way from Uganda. All protocols to the embassies and honorables and esteemed guests who have come to grace this wonderful auspicious occasion, the launching of the book of The Killing of the Queen. And I'm quite grateful to have had an opportunity of discussing the final part of the distribution and marketing of the book. And I would speak to the directors and see how we can also get the book into the greater southern hemisphere. For this afternoon, I would like to take a few moments, just a few moments. The day is fast spent, to allow me to be very brief and precise and to the point. I would like all of us, before we go to bed tonight, to do some small little Googling or research to find out about bees and animals. Amazing that when you study nature, you start understanding how to nurture yourself and grow and become a better person and how to become a better community. And if you can look into the bee colonies and how bees build their homes and master their territories, key and important to the bee colony is the queen bee. A queen bee, which is not only responsible for reproducing eggs, but it is also fundamentally responsible for producing what they call pheromone. And pheromone is the scent or the smell that controls and masters the territory. So that if there is any foreign bee, animal, or insect that comes into the territory, then pheromone is what the bees use to identify each other. And the bee is key in terms of giving leadership to the social cohesion of the entire colony. And so it's reproduction, it's leadership, and it's also mastering the DNA of all the bees that are within the hives in terms of sharing their pheromone. If you should move on to understand that the wars that are being fought on the land today in Africa and beyond, the wars are for and on women, particularly the African woman and her reproduction. Because it is through the African woman that the African continent can procreate itself, duplicate itself, multiply itself, and hence the enemies of our progress, such as Bill Gates and other pharmaceuticals, have made it a venture to make sure that the reproduction of women is tampered with. And once you tamper around with the reproduction of women, the pheromone, which I might want to call the maternal instinctive influence over children, is greatly compromised. Education has come into place to replace the use of women within the home. Churches have come into place to replace the function of the women in the community. At the end of the day, the children that we find no longer identify the voice of the mother as the critical pillar which directs them towards the social cohesion. It is the mother who is the initial God within the family. Mother, Ma, is the God. She's the one who will introduce you, number one, to yourself. Number two, she's the one who will introduce you to your father. Number three, she's the one who will introduce you to your community. And she's also the one who will introduce you to your God. So without a mother breastfeeding, showing, directing, and leading, even fathers cannot do a job as mothers would do. If you look very carefully into the development of the African culture, it is clear, therefore, that the war has been to the death of the queen, the death of the mothers within homes. Prostitution comes in as a way of substituting the function of sanctity within a home. Reproduction comes in now with test tube babies that are coming in. The war is that mothers must not be given permission to reproduce and nurture the children. Jobs that we find out there have replaced the mother. Kitchen and fast foods that we find out there are also replacing the function of the mother. Fashion industry is replacing the function of the mother. Because when you look in African culture, it is mothers who prepared food. It is mothers who prepared clothes. It is mothers who planted seeds. They'll put the seeds under their bodies or under their bosoms. And then before they planted the seeds, they would lick the seeds and put them into the ground, putting their DNA. They would harvest these crops. They would prepare food with their harvest. And the function of the mother was that of feeding the nation. The health of the family was in her hand. So pharmaceuticals have actually come in to replace the function of the mothers. Even government have directly and indirectly replaced the function of a mother. Because now mothers are being told what to do with their children, on their children, as the government is writing regulations of how mothers must begin to develop their own children. Therefore, this book for me becomes very critical because it is addressing not only the political, the economic, or the pharmaceutical and the spiritual function of a mother, but literally the death of a queen. For me, it speaks to what is the role of the African woman in modernity and in the midst of technological advancement and societal transformation, political upheavals, ultimately cultural massacre and cultural genocide that is happening on the African continent. The mother for me becomes the critical part. In Shona, we actually have a word that says muthi, mai muthi. Mai muthi is the root. Mai is mother. Therefore, muthi. Mai, your root is your mother. And for you to know anything in the community, it is your mother who actually connects you to your ancestral knowledge. That's where you find the word next to muthi, mai muthi, umu, muthi, umu, inside the roots. And the word muthi, umu, which is muthimu, speaks of actually what you now call ancestors in English. So the mother is the gateway. She is the connecting platform in which one generation duplicates itself into another. Within that context, therefore, you cannot miss the sacredness of the task of women within our community, not only as cosmetic, beautiful structures, voices, hair pieces, soft voices, soft hands, but their function supersedes just the cosmetic to become the fundamental platform on which a nation and a society is built. If you want to see how progressive a nation is, look at the quality of the women. You want to know how educated a community is, look at the women. Because it is when you educate the woman, you have educated the nation. Because when mothers know the values of education, they will be able to inculcate those values into their own children. For me, this book is a must read. I wish we had enough time to explore this book into TV programs, into TV shows, into radio programs, into educational programs, so that the rites of passage for the girl child and the boy child will be founded in understanding the fundamental functions, usefulness, purpose of the women within the African culture. This book for me, The Death of the Queen, speaks of the beehive, that when the queen mother, the queen bee dies, the whole hive is thrown into turmoil and chaos because there's no longer the center that holds. Another book written by Chinua Achebe, Things Fall Apart. Things fall apart. Why do they fall apart? Because the center can no longer hold. And as far as I understand, mothers are the center of a community, the center of the home. When you can talk about fast food, the target is the mother. Talk about fashion, the target is the mother. Talk about business, the target is the mother. Many homes are breaking apart. Why? Because the function of women has been reduced to purchase or purchasable goods that are on the market, instead of looking at mothers as the foundation. In fact, in African spirituality, the purity of any culture, it is situated within the girl child. Therefore, it is illegal to talk issues of rape, because once you defile the purity of a woman, you've actually defiled all other sacred activities that happen in that culture. In the preparing of our brew, virgin girls must go and fetch water, prepare whatever they must prepare. The whole concept of marriage, it is founded on the purity of the girl child. The purposes of procreation are founded on the girl child, and the entire nation. Without women in the community, we may not have actually what we call African spirituality. And with those few words, I would like to encourage all of us. We say no to women abuse. We say no to rape. We say no to abuse. We say no to abuse. We say no to abuse. Because once we defile women, we have actually defiled one generation that will come after us. In conclusion, I want to submit to you that women are portals of grace in which divinity and humanity are constantly in interaction. It is through women that the cosmology of spirituality manifests itself within the human psyche and the human and African spirituality in particular. And it is with those few words, therefore, that I would like us to purchase the book, share the book, and some of you are intelligent, take the book to the next level, create movies out of it, TV programs, TV shows, publications. Take the copy of the book, put it on your profile picture, and we want to encourage more mothers and more women to be writing books of this nature. And in particular, we want to tell all the churches we need to resuscitate the lives of women. All government offices, we need to resuscitate the function of women within a community. And to all private and social structures, we say halala makosikazi, halala, that is in Zulu, which is a celebration that we celebrate women. We celebrate women. And with those few words, I want to thank you for inviting me to become part of this beautiful occasion. And I would also want to make a donation and purchase 10 books from the publication that has happened today. That will be the contribution of Farmers of Thought. I hope the directors will link up with me, and we can make those books available also in the deep south. Yours truly, Aponga J from Farmers of Thought. Don't do what I want to do, but if you do it better. I thank you.
Thank you very much. That was the chief guest, Bishop. And how do you appreciate what he's just said? Ladies and gentlemen, let us give him a round of applause once again.